Alright lads, in this video we're going to be looking at the hardest achievement in every single zombies map in Black Ops 2 Zombies. I did this before a year ago on Black Ops 1 Zombies, here's the video link if you want to go check it out. But the way that I figure out the hardest achievement for every single map is looking at the achievement completion percentage on both Xbox and PSN, and then throw in my personal opinion in there. But let's start off with Tranzit, and I mean every single achievement on this map is on some levels difficult. Both Xbox and PSN coincided with the percentage completion on what the hardest achievement is, which is don't fire until you see. On Xbox, the percentage of players that have completed this was 5.16%, and on PlayStation it was 2.1%. In order to unlock this achievement, you have to open all of the doors up, or open all the areas in the map without being set on fire. Seems simple enough, right? You only have to open maybe half a dozen doors with your actual money, but it's never that simple. You actually also have to open up all of the areas that are possible with your turbine. And honestly, just adding the turbine element to this achievement is very infuriating because you could blow on this thing and it breaks instantly. It has the lowest health of anything I've ever seen. But yeah, this is one of those achievements that mixed in with this awful map will make you want to throw your control against the wall. Moving on to Die Rise, the hardest achievement on this map is Shafted, and that's particularly fitting because that's how I felt after trying to get this achievement. But in order to unlock this one, you have to physically buy all the perks from all of the elevators and use Pack Punch. On PlayStation, the percentage of people that have completed this is 0.6%, and then on Xbox, it's 1.24%. Honestly, I didn't think that this one would be too difficult, but I hadn't played this map in a very long time, and I forgot how frustrating and poorly designed this map actually is. And you also have to remember that since you can only carry 4 perks and there are actually 6 perks in this map, you actually have to down yourself in order to buy the last 2 perks in the elevators. Also, who in the world actually uses Who's Who? That in and of itself prevents people casually playing the map from actually getting this achievement. So the hardest achievement on Mob of the Dead is Full Lockdown, in which Brutus has to complete his patrol, which means that he has to physically lock down every single thing that you can use around the map. That means that he has to go around the map and lock every single perk, every single bench, and then the plane. Not to mention that Brutus isn't very cooperative when you actually want him to lock things down around the map. There were times where I went through everything and he just decided not to lock things down. He just wanted to oof me. On Xbox, the percentage of players that completed it is 1.25%, and on PlayStation, it was 0.6%. But yeah, I definitely would agree that this is the hardest and most tedious achievement on this map. The other ones, like the Easter egg and just making an acid gather on the map, they're very simple. Okay, now we have the map Burrito, and on this map, the hardest achievement according to the percentages is Awaken the Gazebo, in which you have to pack punch a gun on round 1 with nobody using the bank or the weapon locker. On PlayStation, the percentage of players that completed it is 0.5%, and on Xbox it's 1.14%. At first, when you hear this, it sounds pretty impossible. Like, how do you pack punch a gun without using the bank? This is where the homie Huckleberry comes in, because the longer the distance he is away from the things that he has to open in order to open up the map, the more points you actually get. So you have to strategically open up the map in order to get more points, and then you also have to use some of the chalk drawings in order to get more points. And then finally, you have to go through the witch's house without them taking any of your points, because it's going to be pretty tight. Oh, shit! I did, however, complete this on my first try, so I don't think that this is actually the hardest achievement on Buried. I actually think that it's Mind Games, which is actually completing the Easter egg. The percentages are a little higher for this achievement. On Xbox, it is 1.51%, and on PSN, it is 0.6%. And the reasons that I think this one is harder is because it's an Easter egg that you have to have 4 people in order to complete, and purely because of the last step of the Easter egg, where you have to hit about 80 targets flawless. I talked about this step more in depth in this video, you can check it out if you want, but when I completed it, it took us over 80 minutes to complete this step alone. I am aware of the fact that it is possible to do this step with 3 players, but you have to be a god in order to do this. Honestly, GG to these guys. And finally, we have Origins, and the hardest achievement on this map I thought was going to be Master of Disguise, where you have to revive a bunch of people with zombie blood and turn on a generator, or Saving the Day All Day, where you have to revive players 4 different ways in a single game, but honestly, all those pale in comparison to the actual Easter egg. Little Lost Girl with the completion of 1.96% on Xbox and 1.1% on PlayStation. It's weird how the percentage of players jumps up a little bit for this achievement, and I just think that it's because of the reputation that this Easter egg holds. It's the most contested speedrun of all the maps on zombies, and in the Smith Plays words, it's the ultimate test of a zombies player. Because Origin's Easter egg requires a lot of map knowledge, improvisation, and just pure skill. I hated this map when it first came out because it was too hard and complicated for me, especially following Buried, but a few years later I fell in love with the complexity and the fulfillment that beating this Easter egg brings. I'm sure a lot of other people feel the same, and that completing this Easter egg is by far the hardest achievement on this map.